So, guys, as I wake up today, the 25th of May 2026, to a very, very heavy downpour yesterday night from 10 p.m. up to now 7 a.m. The rain is still coming and coming, and you can see behind me, although I already opened some parts of the chicken house yesterday night, it was a whole lot of work, up to 1 a.m. before I could go to bed. I came out and covered the whole of the chicken house from here to there. So what we are going round the chicken farm for you to see how I've covered it. I will be giving you more updates on the rain and then what has happened between yesterday night and now. So you can see the water. You can see the water that I talk about all the time. So it drains from the top of our community, Sanaro Kuko, then comes this way, and then it flies here, and then gets into my compound, and then sometimes it enters into my neighbor's house. And you can see over there also. So it is when it happens this way that everything that is inside these blocks will come out into the compound. And I am fortunate, very, very fortunate, that my consultant guided me so well to lift the foundation of the structure so that when the water runs off, it wouldn't come and enter into the chicken house. And so far, it has been so good. No water has run into the chicken house from flooding. That is the good news so far. So, as you can see, this is our store, and all throughout this side, all throughout this part, the water splashes. Some enters into the store, but then not so much. That is the reason why we even push our feed from the side of the chicken house deeper into the middle of the store rather, so that it wouldn't get wet when those splashes come. So you can see from here up to the end, I came out yesterday night to cover and was drenched drenched in water. It wasn't easy at all. 1 a.m. coming out to spread the whole of this. You can see as we move on. And these are the size I've cut so far. I'm still cutting the hedge plants to allow for more air, as some of you suggested. So you can see as we keep going, the wind that was blowing was so much that, in fact, at a point, I was even whilst I was tying the polythene, the tarpaulin was just being thrown away from all directions. But then I still had to cover because I fear water entering into the chicken house. So, despite the fact that I was able to cover an extent of it, this is the eastern part, and then this is the window caps we did. And it did help. Yes, it did help. But then when we get inside, we will get to see whether it completely blocks water from entering into the chicken house or not. So I earlier on opened here for light to enter so the chicken can begin to feed. So this is what you can see so far. This is what you can see. That is the covering we did. The lights, it went off and on several times, but as of now, it has completely gone off. And then also our rechargeable lamps have also gone off because there has been more than 7 hours. No, I think more than 6 hours since the lights went off completely. So there is a very, very serious issue of the death of my birds. In fact, this particular bird, this particular one, as I continue to give you updates on the rain, I would like to just add these updates as well. This particular bird, yesterday in the afternoon, that it died, and it died because of some of these things I'm going to be showing you now. You can see this bird. You can see. I don't know whether it is clear enough for you to see. You can see it is struggling to walk. This bird is struggling to walk. You can see this one. It is also struggling to walk. And it begins when, you can see, it begins when the bird begins to limp towards one side of the leg. And once you begin to limp towards one side of the leg, then eventually it is unable to move again. You can see how it is struggling. You can see. You can see how it is struggling to stand up. You can see. So as the rain kept coming and coming, I entered into the chicken house, and then I checked around to see whether there was any splashes of the water that was falling into the chicken house. And lo and behold, because I delayed a little in coming out already at these edges, at these ends, some of the water had already splashed into the chicken house. But before I tied all the tarpaulin, yes, the tarpaulin is that is the actual name. So at the eastern part where the rain was splashing from, there was also water that was falling into the chicken house, but certainly not as much as it was when this particular window caps were not constructed. So the water that fell into the chicken house was much better than previously when the caps were not there. But all the same, when I came in, I noticed that some portions inside the laying nest were wet. So I decided to use the shovel around 1 a.m. to create a kind of barricade to separate where the wetness was from where there was no wetness. You can see. This is the wet area. And as the birds have woken up to the day, they have begun spreading. The parts are separated, and the parts I didn't separate because it was dry. So as I entered into the chicken house, after going around to check the birds that are sick and those that may have died, I will quickly come to collect all the wet parts of the rice husk, so that they will be able to, the ground will be dry for the birds to be able to. These are some of the wet parts, and they eat it seriously. I don't know. I have to collect it so fast. I have to collect it almost immediately. So I go back to the store to give you the updates on the white birds I started. So as we came in, I was looking out for any of the white birds that may have. This one may just be a typical example. This, you can see, it is unable to walk. You see, when you try to push it, it will begin to move slowly, but then it cannot walk. You see how it is struggling. So it happens typically this way. It will start like that, then later it will be unable to move at all. So I don't know what actually is the cause. Is it injury or what is it at all? I don't know. And when it happens that way and you leave it, before you notice, because it is unable to eat or drink, eventually it will just cry. What is happening at all? What is happening at all to my best? Is it injury or what? Oh, no. So if I add this one to the birds that are unable to walk, we will get total number of 4 plus the one that already passed away. There will be 5 within a space of 2 days, and that is so shocking. Shocking. Oh God, what is really happening? But the most interesting shocker is that these brown bears, after we did the deworming, I never had any deaths again from the brown bears. But then it is these white bears I have issues with, and the issues have been an inability to walk because of one reason or the other. So they start limping from one side of the leg, as I indicated. Then eventually they are able to eat, and then eventually they cry. But then with these brown bears, I have not experienced any such since the deworming. So yesterday, even before the rain started, I went into the chicken house to tell them goodbye because I normally enter good night because I normally enter to the chicken house last in the night before I go to bed. So as I entered into the chicken house at the extreme corner, I noticed this particular one, the way it is just lying, that was the way it was lying. You see, this one the same way it is lying, that was the way it was lying. You see, and they had already died, they had already passed away. I got so shocked, and the frustration grows because I am unable to tell exactly what has caused the death. And that is the reason why I say that even despite the deworming we did, but then once the death of the brown bears especially have come up again, and despite the fact that these particular ones are limping, which seems a kind of injury, I am thinking that I will find a laboratory, veterinary laboratory, to take them for a test. I heard in Pontamale Veterinary College there is a lab that can test for the cause of the death of these particular birds. So I will take the one white bird and then one brown bird to go and see what really is the issue with what really I will take these birds to that particular lab to go and see what really is the issue because I am getting frustrated and something must be done. And I'm hoping that they will be able to check the cause of the death very fast and then tell me the cause of it, and then I will get medication for the treatment of them because it is now so mind-boggling. But then to end with the most exciting news, despite all of this, is that yesterday, the 24th of May, marking the fifth month since my birds arrived, the birds have given us a production of 61%, and that is the one that brings smile to my face. 61%. So you can see the crates of eggs we have. So this and this are actually from yesterday, and these parts are covered by the broken eggs that we picked yesterday. So added to these other ones we picked the day before, we picked before we get about 50 crates of eggs that we have in our store. So please come and buy for your salad 54 crates of eggs that we have in our store. A crate, as we say, is 40 cedis when you are buying a wholesale quantity, which is 10 crates and above. And it is affordable that everyone can buy. So come and buy our eggs. So this is where I can end the updates. It is not a good thing at all. It is not a good feeling at all that you have your birds dying the way they are. In fact, but then I pray the veterinary investigation will come out with something which will help. Bye bye for now. If you still haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so and please share to those who may benefit from this particular video. Bye bye.